welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on this special show, Broadcast One presents Disruptors, an exclusive conversation with Capri Global. I caught up with Rajesh Sharma of Capri Global, one of the few listed NBFCs in its space with exposure to lending when it comes to MSMEs and SMEs, about his outlook in terms of sentiment uptick for small businesses, as well as their exposure when it comes to value-based housing and the real estate space. Take a listen.
को टाइम से पहले जैसा हमको चाहिए वैसा हमको लोन मिल गया। हमारा कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुआ, कोई परेशानी नहीं हुआ, ना कोई 1 रुपया मांगा भी। जो कागज़ बोले वो हमने कागज़ दिया, हमारा काम फटाफट हो गया, हमको कोई तकलीफ़ नहीं हुआ।
मैं कैप्री ग्लोबल के लोन के लिए अप्लाई किया और मुझे लोन मिला, क्योंकि मैं बिज़नेस स्टार्ट करने वाला था अपना गारमेंट का, जिसमें मुझे अदर जगह पे दिक्कत हुआ थोड़ा, लेकिन यहाँ पे जब आया तो थोड़ा इजी लगा मुझे। और वो लोग ने जल्दी मुझे लोन के लिए खुद वो लोग ने हेल्प किया कि कहाँ पे मुझे पेपर चाहिए, कहाँ नहीं चाहिए। वो लोग ने पूरा मुझे डॉक्यूमेंट्स के लिए लिख के दिया और मैंने वो सब अपलोड किया और उनको दिया। फिर 1 मंथ के अंदर मुझे पूरा लोन मिल गया।
Thank you for taking the time to join us here on this very special conversation, talking about what you are doing differently and how you are so excited about the MSME and the SME space. So my first question to you is to really talk to our viewers about Capri, what that journey for you as an entrepreneur has been.
So since 2011, we started focusing on lending business. And the Capri journey in this space have evolved over a period of last 8 years. When we decided to deploy our capital, we decided to deploy where the huge credit gap in MSME segment was existing.
Sure.
Close to 70 trillion Indian rupees gap exists for the SME, where today more than 90% MSME units do not get access to formal credit because lack of proper documentation and income proof. At the same time, this SME sector contributes hugely towards employment generation as well as the exports. So when we decided to deploy our capital, we are aiming to purpose that profit and purpose can be achieved together. Not only financial return, but social return also were attracting to us towards that sector. And that's the reason we decided to focus our capital largely on MSME space.
Okay.
Today, Capri Global is having AUM about 1800 crore in MSME space, where we have catered to more than 9,000 customers. And our uniqueness lies that we understand their credit worthiness and able to assess their eligibility as well as creditworthiness by our unique underwriting models and local understanding of each customer in each geography, and each geography, the each property and other profiles.
Okay.
We have funded close to 6,000 customers by our 100% subsidy, which is housing finance in affordable housing space.
So I will come and talk about affordable housing and why you're so excited about that. But my question to you is, and picking up on what you just said, that you are providing finance to those without proper documentation proof. How are you then overcoming that? What the traditional banking sector really sees as a challenge, that you don't have income proofs, for instance. How are you overcoming that? How have you used that as an advantage in your business?
So we have our team which goes to the customer, understand their needs, understand their profile, go to their residence, engage them in the discussion, understand why they need business, cross-verify a lot of things and arrive at and give them a flexible solution at their doorsteps.
Sure.
So we, rather than relying on income proof, we rely in assessment of ground-based approach in their personal discussion, arriving their eligibility in other. These all customer, while they have credit worthiness, they do not have the proof, but that doesn't mean that they are not credit worthiness. And with this approach, we are able to solve the problem of many customers who do not have income proof. I believe that India has a very large landscape of such borrowers which needs to be addressed today.
All right, so that's fascinating as far as how you are looking at being the banker to the unbanked, and that's tying in largely with also what the government has been doing. I'll come back to talk about the role of the government, but I want to get your views on the NBFC space. How excited are you? What's the sort of outlook there?
So I believe NBFC is an essential tool for financial inclusion for the underbanked, where NBFC can access to those customers and provide the solution where bank cannot. So it works as a really complementary and supplementary to each other. We believe that NBFC will continue to grow. If last few years we talk about, NBFC has grown steadily over a period of last few years, 20% year after year. While the recent time has been tough from liquidity perspective, but if you look at the credit quality and asset quality of NBFC, we have not seen any deterioration. So whatever happened, maybe that is overreaction. Now I think slowly or gradually it will coming back to normalcy.
So you were just saying that things are definitely getting better when it comes to lending. But my question to you is really that report suggesting that with NPAs at their worst in 10 years, the small businesses are the ones that felt the worst squeeze, the MSMEs and the SMEs, because banks were shying away from lending to them. So in what time frame are you seeing that things are going to get better on the ground when it comes to the lending picture?
So I believe that lending have not slowed down to MSME segment itself. While as far as Capri is concerned, I think we are going to grow 35% again this year. And last quarter, despite all this squeeze, we were getting adequate bank lines. So there was no dearth of money available to us despite all, because we did not have any short-term borrowing and ALM mismatch. As far as sector is concerned, while there was some slowdown in some space, but that has come back to normalcy. So I believe MSME still will continue to get the required credit from NBFC. Bank would have slowed down because of a lot of other issues at their end, but with the recent recapitalization of various public sector banks, I believe they will also start lending with the same pace as it used to be earlier.
Okay, I want to talk about your exposure. About 70% I understand is to SMEs and MSMEs, about 30% is to the construction space. Why the construction industry? What's the outlook there? How's that really been performing for you?
So we are lending to construction finance, which is aligned to by and large to our housing finance strategy, to give the loans to small size developer who are building affordable home loans. And construction finance also we are doing very retail way. We are lending to small developers who have already acquired the land by their own equity. They have all the approval in place, and they are building underlying apartment which are of a very low cost. In the metros in the range of about 60 lakhs, other than metro in the range of 30 to 40 lakh rupees. So indirectly we are supporting that affordable housing space developer who are building those homes. And that strategy is playing well, where we have almost more than 140 developers whom we have funded across Surat, Ahmedabad, Pune, Bombay, Jaipur, Madras, Bangalore. So geographically they are widespread. At the same time, ticket size of each developer loan is less than 10 crore rupees. Okay. So it is really we are doing in a very retail way of construction finance.
Okay, so you must be excited about the fact that the present government at least is very excited about the affordable housing spaces, talking about housing for all. Has that proved in any way sort of beneficial maybe to companies like yourself?
Yes, so while we are recently entered in the housing finance space in 2016, we have a 100% subsidiary company called Capri Global Housing Finance Limited. So presently we are spread across 75 branches across Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and NCR region. So far we have financed almost 6,000 first-time home buyers to fulfill their dream of owning a home. I believe the government scheme where the mission is housing for all by 2022 is a very good, where every home buyer who is buying first time is getting credit link subsidy scheme, which is reducing their burden. At the same time, that is also helping those home buyers to acquire their first home. We are addressing the home buyers' need where they do not have income proof by our unique underwriting models and deep understanding of each region, each geography. So we believe this is a very good scheme where if we talk about today housing shortage, almost 19.6 million units are yet to be built, and in affordable housing space where about 11 million units are shortage in urban and rest are in the rural areas. We believe that many more housing finance companies are required to meet such a huge demand.
Time for a break. On the other side, we'll continue this exclusive conversation with Capri Global. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight continuing snippets of an exclusive conversation with Capri Global. So even as we're talking about the gap when it comes to companies that are lending specifically to affordable housing and the credit gap that really exists there, my question to you is the broader lending perspective. We have thousands of MSMEs and SMEs that speak to us every year here on the show that say that we don't get access to funding. It's not easy to get access to funding, whatever is the source of funding, whether it's banks, whether it's approaching NBFCs, etc. So do you think it's perhaps the lack of information when it comes to where all small businesses can raise funds from?
The real problem exists that MSME do not get funding, adequate funding, and we talk about out of 45 million units today in MSME space, out of them 90% do not have any borrowing. They are not able to access any formal credit. I believe with a lot of NBFCs are now focusing on this, and where the Capri is also focused to customize underwriting tools where our team visits their home, their business premises, understand and localize our credit policies in terms of technical valuation, in terms of legal policies. We are quite flexible to assess their requirement. So while the gap exists, the problem is large, so is the opportunity. So I believe that this gap we are also trying to address in some small way, but yes, many more finance companies are required to address this gap. Formal channel of financing may not be able to address it, but yes, NBFC sector is addressing this gap.
Okay, I want to talk specific to Capri Global and talk about the fact that you don't see maybe too many listed companies in the NBFC space. You're one of those, but I basically want to talk about your experience when it came to listing, why you decided to list, what that has been like for you.
I think listing, after listing, it helps company to be more transparent. You can invite good board members. You have more disclosure requirement. You are more transparent quarterly. So you are very disciplined. When you are listed, you are much more disciplined than is compared to private limited companies and unlisted companies. So it helps to talk to investors. It helps to talk to regulator. In fact, regulator also appreciate when you are listed because you are more transparent, more disciplined.
Sure. I want to talk about your assets under management. I understand you're at about 4,000 odd crores, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a very ambitious footprint. Just talk to us about that.
Yes. So presently we are operating through about 85 branches across Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and NCR region. But we aim to achieve our footprint across South also. We want to start the South region in some time from now. And we will increase our branch network from 85 branches to about 225 branches in next 4 years time, so that we can increase our AUM, which is 4,000 crore to 25,000 crore. Combination of housing finance of 7,000 crore and construction finance, MSME lending, and lending to smaller MFI and NBFC, we call it indirect retail. Combination of these three products will be about 18,000 crore. Okay. So we aim to achieve about 25,000 crore combined book by 2023.
2023, which is going to be a combination of expansion in the South, is going to be an expansion of what you're doing as far as indirect retail is concerned, etc. You have several schemes which are directed at specific sets of customers, and one thing that I definitely want to talk to you about is your exposure as far as women entrepreneurs are concerned. If you can run us through those products that you have, and what perhaps size of the portfolio do women entrepreneurs now form for you?
So we strongly believe that when it comes to financial inclusion, it should be irrespective of gender or class. So when we lend to a woman, it might sound a ordinary financial transaction to outsider, but to her, it is about reposing the faith in her capabilities. It also has a ripple effect around her. When other women see that one woman is getting successful and getting funding, they also get inspired to fulfill their entrepreneurial journey. So we believe that without equal participation of women borrower, the financial inclusion cannot be achieved. Today, about our MSME portfolio, 80% our customers also have women as a co-borrower, and in most of them they are participating actively in the business. So we have, while we do not have a separate program for women borrower, but we have seen that women are actively in MSME space, where they are running tailoring shop, saloon, some small businesses. They are equally contributing in mom and pop stores, and where we are insisting them to be co-borrower. So we believe that this women entrepreneurship funding is equally important, which we are addressing as well.
Okay, how is technology helping you achieve the kind of growth that you were just talking to us about?
So technology helping us to do the faster processing and data analytics and predicting about the high risk, medium risk and low risk. As far as front end is concerned in our business, where we are meeting the customer who are underserved, underbanked, those everything cannot be digitized, but back end processes are entirely on the technology platform. We have engaged one of the big four consulting firm to advise us on the IT roadmap, and we have invested close to about 10 crore rupees in that, and we are fully equipped as far as our sales team is concerned, our collection team is concerned, our operation team is concerned, to carry out the analysis, to do the loan processing, to the underwriting decisioning on the technology platform.
Okay, fair enough. Even as the landscape perhaps is getting more competitive in terms of just how many NBFCs are present right now, how many people are really lending to SMEs and MSMEs, my question to you is how you are innovating, how you're ensuring that you are understanding what products are going to be different in the market, and how you're coming up with that.
I think our biggest USP is our understanding of the customer business. So we have aligned our pan-India policies to the local policies. So while we have one credit policy for the pan-India, but we also we have customized local policies based on the geography, based on the customer profile, based on the property profile, based on their income levels. So we have realized that what policy will work in Maharashtra may not be workable entirely in Gujarat or Rajasthan. So for every region we created separate policies. We have created in-house technical team to give them faster turnaround time and understanding of the property profiles. We have created in-house legal team so that we have a deep understanding of each geography. So our entire in-house team, the entire focus is to arrive and acquire the understanding of the customer so that we can give a fast decisioning, and that is helping us.
Okay. Even as we were talking about your own outlook at Capri Global, I want for you to use this interview to talk to our viewers about what you're expecting sentiment to be in the immediate future, given that we're counting down to the elections and we're perhaps going to see, a new government being formed. Macroeconomic global factors are also at play. We're talking about, Brexit. We're talking about everything that's happening in the global economy. What is the sentiment? What is the mood? What is your advice for small businesses watching this interview?
I believe consumption-led businesses and service-oriented businesses in majority, which are catered by MSME, there is a huge demand gap at their end also. So these businesses will continue to grow irrespective of when the government comes and when the election happens. That is not going to change there, because their business depend on return on efforts and not return on equity. So we believe that a small business like a guy who is running a mom and pop store, a guy who is running a bike repairing workshop, or a guy who is a fabricator, those businesses are not going to be changed drastically by election or by new government. I believe in next 10-15 years we have a huge consumption story coming out, and MSME is going to be a big supportive role and a big growth in that space.
So as we're winding down this conversation, my question to you is, you personally as an entrepreneur, if you can talk to us about how you've prepared for the changes, starting where you are and given the kind of aggressive targets that you have in terms of your own expansion, how do you prepare?
So when we started in 2011 this lending business, we figured out that there's a huge gap existing in MSME space, and besides, when we started visiting the customer and setting up the branches, we realized that this is also giving us a satisfaction in terms of addressing the social impact, which is, I think globally organizations and corporations are realizing one thing, that helping the bigger cause is also profitable yet socially bringing a change. So we are looking at this big story where next 10 years how we can address this a huge opportunity which is arising out of a huge problem as well as a huge credit gap. So we have aligned that we are going to be in MSME space helping small entrepreneur to meet their capital needs and aspire and fulfill their aspirations by growing their businesses and acquiring the first home who are homeless or rather living in the rental homes.
Sure.
So we are addressing that gap. I think this is going to be quite exciting for next 10 years. We feel there's a lot can be done and a lot to be done.
Okay, what personally makes you a disruptor?
So when we decided to lend to the customer who do not have income proof, while it is very difficult initially to align your policies, to train the team, to change your underwriting models, to adopt based on the ground realities, it was a very tough task because the entire thing cannot be digitized and everything cannot be technologically done in this space as far as front end is concerned. But while it was challenging, but at the same time, when you solve the problem of small people, it is quite satisfying.
Okay, my last question then is, what next for you? You were talking about the expansion you're looking at in the south of India, for instance. Besides that, anything that you can leave us with?
So I believe at Capri, we are going to be focused on MSME and affordable housing space, and we will continue to grow at the pace of 35 to 40% year after year. We are well capitalized. Today we have capital adequacy about 37%. We have almost 20 lenders supporting this cause, where we have best of private sector, public sector, and insurance companies to be our lender. So I believe with the support of a good team and where the good opportunity lies, we are confident we will continue to grow.
Wish you all the very best.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time here on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's our show tonight. If you have any feedback for us, here's how you get in touch. leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com is our email ID. Reach us also on Twitter, Sunand_J and LOT_ET now, or Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.